if you look at our own education system, Professor, it doesn't allow us this whole bit about the curiosity that's required, right? Because we are pretty much a culture where we are assessment oriented, right? You write an exam, you pass an exam, you get your academic scores. That's really how it moves, right? So when you get these students, how do you transition them into this thinking? Because it's a thinking that requires a very different research mindset versus a job mindset, right? So how do you really transition them into this thinking?
Once again, I will make this clear that not 100% of my students will go on to become entrepreneurs. Even if you can encourage 20% of these to turn entrepreneurs, to start thinking translation, to start thinking of a product, I'm very successful. And that's the reason why I do 10 times the number, because if I can train 200 or 250, 300 interns over the last 10 years, even if 10% of these interns go on to join a lab where they think translation, they work on a product, I'm very happy because I have at least made that impact. One thing I do tell these people when they come into my lab is that I do not want you to work on a problem statement that will remain in the lab. If you have an opportunity to take it outside the lab, I will help you do that. If you do not get the opportunity of taking it outside the lab, I'll find somebody to take it out of the lab. And this is something that I have always told them, that at the end of 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, whatever it takes for them to finish up their PhD, I usually try that they finish up in 4, but many students take longer. I would say I want something on my table. And when I say I want something on my table, let me give you an example. So I always have some example to show. So there's a student that worked on, look at these sponges, and you will see that there are these small sponges in them. And I keep them in my table because somebody, a clinician comes, I am very happy to show this to him. This is a problem statement given by a clinician who knows that there is a market for it. Now, how do we even encourage people to start thinking? Because we want them to start talking to these clinicians early in their career. And the day they join, within a few months, we'll have an interaction with a clinician in the area that they want to work on. Give them a problem statement, give them what exists out there in the market. Maybe they find it themselves, but then at the end of it, they come to me with a product that is sitting on my table. Now, this is not a full product. This is probably a prototype. This is a not even an MVP, a minimal viable, but it is something that is there on my table, reminding me that I have to take this forward into the market. And that's what I want them to figure out. I want them to have all these on my table so that at the end of the month, I see what I have been able to move forward into the market. And that's the goal that I work with. That's the goal that these students work with, that we want everybody to have at least one product at the end of their PhD, their masters, their bachelors, whatever it is. Whatever you do, if you're helping a student, then you be part of that ecosystem. That's all I want.